He's a personal finance expert who made headlines around the world when he paid off his mortgage at age 30 on a house he bought just 3 years prior. I'm delighted to welcome Sean Cooper, author of Burn Your Mortgage, on Small Talk. Sean Cooper, personal financial expert, welcome to Small Talk.
Great to be here, Javed.
Now, Sean, you made some headlines when you paid off your mortgage at the age of 30. Now, get this, folks. When he purchased his home 3 years prior, he paid off his mortgage 3 years at the age of 30. That's amazing.
Well, thank you. I didn't think I could pay it off that quickly, but with the tips in my book, I definitely paid it off faster than anticipated.
Yeah, now you've got a book. It's called Burn Your Mortgage. And folks, I met up with Sean online. As a matter of fact, I watched his burning his mortgage documents ceremony party, I think he was mentioning, with his close group of friends. And you got to watch this. Go look him up. It was a CBC report. It was just an inspiring segment that I watched. And I said to myself, I got to reach out to this individual. It's an amazing individual. He has taken this, created a book. He's now a national speaker. And we're really, really privileged to have you on the show, Sean. Now, you've got 3 tips you wanted to share with our viewers that will help them pay their mortgage down quicker and perhaps even pay it right off. I'd love for you, please, to share those tips with our viewers.
Sure, perfect. I'm excited to share them. So the first tip would be to pay your mortgage on an accelerated basis. Now, many people think, oh, if I pay my mortgage instead of monthly, I pay it bi-weekly or weekly, I'm going to save myself a ton of interest, but that's not necessarily true. You might save yourself, a few $100s, but what really saves you the big dollars is paying it on an accelerated basis. Now, when you paid accelerated, your mortgage payment is slightly higher and you're paying the equivalent of 13 months of mortgage payments instead of only 12 months. So by doing that, you could save yourself tens of thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your mortgage. Now, the second tip is to make lump sum payments on your mortgage. Now, most closed mortgages allow you to make lump sum payments that go directly against the principal. And people are probably thinking, how do I come up with an extra $1,000, $2,000? Most people don't have that kind of money laying around. So what I say is use found money. For example, bonuses at work, inheritance, or even tax refunds, because it's that time of the year. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is for people that already own mortgages to make sure that you shop around for your mortgage when it comes up for renewal. I find many people are complacent when their mortgage comes up for renewal. They're busy, so they just get the mortgage renewal papers in the mail and sign on the dotted line and send it back. But it's important to recognize that the mortgage rate that you get on renewal is more than likely higher than the mortgage rate that you get as a new client. So what I recommend is about 6 months in advance, take the effort to shop around for a mortgage, give your mortgage broker a call, see if there's a better rate out there. And if you find a better rate, bring it back to your current lender and see if they're willing to match it. I mean, there's no point of switching lenders if you're perfectly happy. And if they're willing to match it, then great. But if they're not, then, don't be scared to switch to another lender. But, just be aware that with the new mortgage stress test, it's been made a bit more difficult to switch lenders than it was in the past. So just something to keep in mind. And those are my 3 tips.
So there we go. That's hey, if you to get those, jot those down. Hit repeat here, because Sean's really passionate about this. So let's recap. You mentioned, Sean, you said lump sum payments.
Yes.
Shop around for your mortgages. You mentioned a mortgage broker, mortgage agent, perhaps as a way to shop around. And I'm just remembering the other one. It was
paid on an accelerated basis.
Accelerated basis. There you go. So those are those 3 tips. Sean, amazing. Now, one thing that we always ask our first-time viewer, our first-time guests, is the following question. Sean, if you had a chance to have a small talk conversation with anyone, living or past, who would it be?
Well, that's a great question. It would be, for me, because I'm kind of a finance nerd myself, I would say Jim Flaherty during the financial crisis, because we were definitely going into uncharted waters then, and nothing big like that had happened since the Great Depression. So I would just like to hear what was going through his mind when he heard about all the stuff that was going down in the U.S. during that time, and if it was keeping him up during the night, worried that the Canadian banks would have issues, because they like to say Canada's banks are the most stable banks in the world, but it was definitely a very uncertain time there. So I just like to speak with him, while he was still alive, and just find out exactly what was going through his mind, and if he was worried at all that the Canadian economy could potentially be pulled down similar to the U.S. economy.
What a great pick and a great answer, especially being a personal financial expert, Sean. Thank you again. Your contact information is on the screen. If folks, you want to continue this conversation with this young and up-and-coming personal financial expert, by the way, he's for hire. He does national speaking in multiple conferences and road shows, trade shows, wherever. If you need someone inspirational as an inspirational speaker and can speak about personal finance, this is the guy, Sean Cooper. His contact information is there. Sean, again, thank you so much for being on Small Talk.
My pleasure.
Thank you to Sean Cooper, personal finance expert and author of Burn Your Mortgage, for joining me on Small Talk. You can also listen to our show as part of our podcast series. Now it's your turn. Please comment, subscribe, and share. If you've got a topic you'd like to discuss on the show, please give me a call or send me an email. We'll talk with you next time.